Hey, you guys, today you don't get to see my lovely face, but you do get to hear this glorious voice of mine. Mrs. Bingham here. Today we are talking about, yes, you've got it, dialogue. Most of you should know what dialogue is, but in case you don't, that is when two characters in a story talk to each other. Now, that's an important thing. It's important to have a conversation between two of your characters. They can help to explain a situation better. However, fifth graders are notorious. That means you do it a lot. You're notorious for sometimes creating stories where that's all it is a whole bunch of dialogue. He said, she said, they said, he said, she said, he said, she said, she said. Wow, sounds like she sells seashells by the seashore. That's really hard to say. Anyway, the point of the matter is that's what you do. If you have too much dialogue, sometimes it can be extremely, extremely confusing. So, here is a little bit of information about dialogue. So never say the obvious. If I can describe that my character stabs herself in the thumb, I'm not going to say, I'm picking up the knife now. Oh no, I stabbed my thumb. Like, instead of doing that, I can say, a sharp pain was in my thumb, something like that. So don't say the obvious. You don't need to say, hi, my name is so-and-so. Hi, my name is so-and-so. Like, don't do that. Something that should be happening, it should come naturally. So it should be a part of the story. Okay. It also kind of lets you know about the person. So here are some examples. Notice that we start with the quotation marks right here. You must have quotation marks. You must have quotation marks at the beginning and the end of what you're saying. So this is the never say the obvious example right here. But it says, I was at the park too. There were slides and swings and monkey bars. Well, duh, I hope so. But notice they started the beginning of the sentence of the dialogue with quotation marks, and then they also ended the quotation marks. Okay, so you have to have both of those in order for it to be dialogue. Now, if you want to say said Sarah, said Mrs. B, etc. Oh, here's a quotation mark. Hi, James, comma, and quotes, and then it says he said. Okay. So if you're going to tell us who said what, this is what your sentence should simply look like. Quotes, comma, quote, and then who said it or who whispered it. Now, I suggest you don't use the word said. If you want for your rough draft, that is fine. But said is a pretty weak word. So if you look down here, I love this one. It says, Tim screamed, "You stole my purple pen." Okay, so instead of just saying said, the author used screamed. Or here's another one. Lisa criticized. Do you see that girl's ugly dress? I would never wear that. The word criticize instead of said is so much better. So we're going to come over here to my Lake Powell story. And we already have my introduction. I have my basic story. I went through and added dialogue in multiple places. Your goal today, and one of the things that you'll be graded on, is I want you to find a place to have 3 pieces of dialogue. So, you hurt yourself again? She's asked with a chuckle. That's 1. And I said, where is it coming from? I wondered. That would be 2. Notice that I took a question that I was just thinking in my head and made it out loud, made it part of the conversation. I think you're going to need stitches, my sister exclaimed. She wrapped my hand in gauze and tape. Let's see how it looks after 3 hours, she said. So that gives us some instructions, also explains why we waited 3 hours before we looked at my finger again. So I'm going to leave this up for just a minute. Notice there are the quotes, a capitalized letter at the beginning of a sentence. Then I have a question mark here, and then she asked with a chuckle. Notice it doesn't say she said. I didn't want to use the basic. I didn't want to use the simple. So instead, we are using that. So that's your goal. You have to have it in 3 places. So get to work and don't forget to have a little fun. If you can't think of other words to use, I will put a link in the assignment of words to use other than said. Good luck.